Welcome, welcome, welcome. Entertain the thought must have hit a nerve. Oh, I'm so excited because relationships. Oh my goodness, relationships. That's the topic for what we're talking about now. I mean, it seems like I don't care what I say. As soon as I say something about love and relationships, whew, everybody just started going off. So, I want to do this video in response to a couple of guys, some very nice gentlemen, who expressed some concerns about the fact that what I had to say was heavily on behalf of women and not necessarily on behalf of solutions or on behalf of men. So I'm going to say this with a bit of a disclaimer because there's no way I can literally speak for all women, and there's no way that I can make sense of what men actually want and what you guys are thinking. So what I'm going to say as a preface is that I'm speaking from my own perspective, okay? So if I'm saying something that is not inclusive of what you think or believe, then please feel free to reach out, offer your perspective, comment, and join the conversation in whatever way you'd like to join it. Contribute whatever you'd like to contribute. Because in all reality, I'll be doing response videos forever if I want to please everybody's opinions and what everybody thinks should have been included in my own thoughts. So I have no problem with doing this because I think it's absolutely productive. But I want to sort of read from the blog. So I hope that you guys all went to my blog because I wrote out 9 important and very simple ways that black people can mend their relationships when it comes to love. That has a lot to do with community as well, but I'm going to stick to the household and the family simply because that is what seems to be our main concern. I think we should be concerned about our communities as well, but I'm aware of the fact that once you get your house in order, then the community comes next. So let's get our houses in order. First order of business between us is communication. Now, I know for a fact that, the whole communication thing is easier said than done because men are from Mars, women are from Venus. But there is something to be said when two people can communicate with each other in a way that is adult-like and mature and solution-centered. So I would suggest that when we are considering the fact that we come from a long line of negative and dysfunctional social conditioning, that we use that sympathy and empathy in order for us to communicate our points to our significant others, but not just to communicate to others, but also to receive the communication, okay? There's a lot of times when we feel as though what we have to say is more important, or that what we have to say is more valid than the other person. That is not the case, and we need to be more understanding about where the communication is coming from. Let's not just hear what a person says and allow it to just go to the wayside because we don't understand it, we don't sympathize or empathize with it. Let's stop for a moment, figure out where it's coming from, ask questions, and investigate further into what the person is saying so that we can try to, come to an understanding. Let's figure out what we're doing here. I think the main root of what I'm trying to say is that communication comes from a place. Communication is for a reason. And it's because we're here to understand each other. We cannot go about our daily lives without being able to connect and send and receive information from the people we're connected to. That's what communication is. And to do it effectively means that you have understood for yourself the communication that you're sending out and also what you're receiving in response to what you're sending out. That is effective communication. So after that, the second one, I'm reading from the blog itself, is understanding. So I think I just sort of included those two together. Communication and understanding really do go hand in hand because really, like I just said, when you are communicating, you're doing that for the purpose of understanding what the person next to you or the person in front of you has said and what they're trying to communicate to you. Where is it coming from? What's the heart of it? Understand, understand, get it in your heart, get it in your mind about what this person is saying. Why are they saying it? And then move forward from there. That has a lot to do with giving and receiving. So be a resource, okay? Be a resource when it comes to your communication and your understanding. Don't just plot yourself down in a relationship and just exist there without ever allowing yourself to be heard or felt as a presence in that relationship. So the next thing is interest. Now, this is extremely important because, oh my goodness, this has to do with something that I have personally struggled with. Now, women, ladies, we are some deep seas, okay? We deep oceans, we deep waters, but we have to help a little bit when it comes to a man having interest or taking interest in us. Now, like I said, this video is more so about the solutions between men and women. At least it's part of the video. So let me try to stay neutral in general in this particular message. Now, you're dating someone and you're getting to know them. How many times do we say, I want to get to know you? But yet, it seems like after we get into this, or we get after the initial, what they call it, the honeymoon phase, then we start to sort of trickle off into this unknown space of, I don't know who you are, I don't really care about you anymore, I have no idea what you're in my life for, and we go into this sort of uninterested, I really don't know how to get rid of you, but I want you gone type of space. And I mean, that's okay if that's how you want to live your life. But goodness gracious, take interest in the person that you are courting. Common interest and compatibility is so important. You cannot be happy or exist in a relationship consciously and have any positive results when you have a lack of interest in the person themselves. People are very deep wells of being. We're very deep wells of experiences, of knowledge, of pain and suffering and happiness and joy and peace and love. We're dimensional. So if you don't take interest in all those different dimensions of the person that you're with, trust and believe me, you are going to get burned out. You're not going to appreciate the person for long, and then it leads into resentment. It leads into all kinds of emotional sores and wounds that nobody wants to deal with. Oh my God. Let's take interest, okay? Fellas, find something to be interested about in the woman that you are with. I'm telling you, it's going to do you a favor. Be interested in what the woman has to say, who she is, and, you know, ladies, vice versa. So the next thing on the list, number 4, is about intentions. Being in a relationship without intentions is like being on a ship without a captain, okay? It is extremely redundant. It does not work. There's no way to figure out your end result. There is no real progress to be made in a situation like that. Who wants to be in a relationship where there are no intentions for the future? Think about it. Where are we going to be living? How many kids are we going to have? Are we going to be entrepreneurs? Are we going to be helping each other with our future goals? Are we going to be traveling? What are we doing? What is the intention for what we've built? So now we understand each other. We've done the communication thing, got that perfected. You know, what are the intentions that we have now? Now that we see that we like each other, whatever the case, how are we going to move forward and partner with each other with intention? We're not just here to look at each other and be sexy all day. That's just not what relationships are about, and that's not a wise way to go about maintaining a relationship. Stop for a moment, figure out your intentions, and then move forward. So next is compromise. Number 5, we're talking about compromise, okay? This is talking, again, let me remind you, we're talking about mending relationships. In spite of social conditioning, that is extremely important to make sure you understand that caveat here. When we are going about our relationships and we are sort of existing through this filter of oppression and social conditioning or social engineering, we know that all of that has been aimed at making our lives and our relationships dysfunctional. So when it's time for us to come up to a compromise with a person, first of all, let's not be so egotistical and immovable that we cannot listen to logic and reason. In your relationship, if a person is lacking or needing something, they're going to tell you that in one way or another. It's up for you to be wise enough to stop for a moment and say, do I need to compromise on this in any way, and am I willing? You know, we are not inclined to negotiate the terms of our lives. But if you meet a person that is absolutely reasonable, like this is a, ladies, let's just say, I'm talking on behalf of women. You meet a man and he is good. You know, he's got some qualities about him that are, you know, really good. But then there are a couple that you kind of side eye like, and guys, this is the same for you too, where you're like, I don't know. But again, remember, we're going through social conditioning. We're trying to shed off these negative behaviors, negative attitudes, negative paradigms that we used to ascribe to. So compromise every now and then. I mean, it's not like you've never needed a compromise on your behalf. It's not like people have to be walking around perfect just to be in a relationship. So be willing to compromise on things, and not just some things. Be willing to compromise on things, because people are not perfect. But you could be missing out on something that's absolutely good for you if you're not willing to compromise and see the person beyond their flaws. Now, I'm not saying be stupid. I'm saying be reasonable, okay? Don't expect, you know, the moon and the stars and the sky and the sun from a person when they're just learning to fly, you know? Allow a person to be human, and allow them to receive your compromising attitude when it comes to them in a relationship. You know, teach a person, learn from them, figure out where you can sort of tweak things to make it more, or I should say, to make it less of a compromise. That way it doesn't feel so bad, but you still get to hold on to the person. You still get to be the type of person who is giving what you'd like to receive. That's extremely important. So compromise, number 5. Number 6 is about courtship. This is a soft spot for me. I'm not going to yell. Courtship. This is not dating, in my opinion. Courtship is much deeper than dating, okay? Courtship is about how you handle a person when you're getting to know them. When you have a person that is just sort of new in your life, and you really don't have a place for them yet, you don't know how you want to place them. I don't know, maybe other people introduce new energy into their life in a different way. For me, I have to normalize the energy. You can't just show up in my life and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah, cool, I know exactly what to do with you. No. When I buy a couch, I have to move it around the living room for a little while before I can tell where I want to have it. So people are the same for me, and I need to be able to have this period of time where I can step back and say, okay, this is how you feel in my life, and I want to place you here. That happens through courtship. It happens during the time when you're getting to know a person for who they are, not for what they're telling you, not for what others are telling you, but you know what you're actually experiencing from them at the moment. Okay? Courtship is all about how do I interact with you as a person or as a romantic interest in my life. I'm not trying to make you perfect in my mind. I'm not trying to get you to a place where you're my husband already. I'm just trying to figure out your energy. But you guys, in order to mend these relationships, courtship has to happen. We're never going to get to the right person if we're just shuffling through people like this is some kind of Tinder account. There's no way you can vet a person. There's no way you can feel their energy or get what their proclivities are. You have to stop for a moment. Court them. Be interested. Go out. Be creative together. Go and do something that brings out your personality more, or something that allows you to study a person. That is what courtship is about, so that you can figure out, should I even go any further? A lot of us like to accept a person in our lives and just keep them there just because they're cute or they have some sort of aesthetic that is pleasing to us. We got to stop that. It's not going to work. So one thing I would like to say about men that, or to men, that is stated in my blog is that, you know, during the process of courtship, it really adds value to the situation for the woman. When a woman is being pursued and she's allowed to feel valuable based on how you're courting her, it lets her know it's okay for her to open up and allow you to reap the benefits of her womanhood. Okay? And I know men, you guys have things that you are able to bring to the table during the process of courtship, but it's really a time for you to let a woman know that she will be justified in allowing you into her body, allowing herself to be of service to you, allowing herself to dedicate and be loyal to you. That's what courtship is about. So if you're looking for loyalty, how about you give some investment into that loyalty, okay? A woman is not going to be loyal to you if you're not even showing her that you care about her, okay? So just court. Don't be afraid to what do you call it? To trick off some money. Don't be afraid to even if you don't have any money, don't be afraid to do PDA, going places you've never been before, being creative on dates. That type of stuff is extremely important. So that brings me to my next point. Creativity. Come on, say it with me. Creativity. You do not have to do dinner and a movie or Netflix and chill every time you meet a lady, okay? Find something creative to do. Women are creative. We love to be out there. We like to explore. We like to learn. We like to see. We like to do. We like to be. We like to go. Can we get a little bit of that, please? Some creativity. Dig down in that bag of tricks. Ladies, do the same thing. Don't go out and buy a man a watch every Father's Day. Take him somewhere. Do something with him. Get out there in the world. It's a big world. Meet people that you never met before. Learn a magic trick. Learn how to do something. Learn how to, do what do you call it? A glass blowing class. Go and do something that's worthwhile. Because I'm going to tell you, creative energy is also sexual energy. If you can build up this creative energy where, you got a little arts and crafts situation going on, you might look over and be like, what you making over there? That's me? Get it. What's that? What is that? That's my muscles. You like my smile? Whatever. I don't know. Do something creative with the woman or with your man so that there's just this